conviction in the simple truth that we are rooted in the living Spirit, that we have access to the mind of God and to the love and the power and the peace of the Spirit. We should walk in confidence and speak our spiritual convictions with complete assurance, knowing that there is a presence and a power within us and for us and operating through us, a presence and power that knows no defeat. Please say the affirmation with me, with conviction and trust. I know that my purposes are animated and inspired by the Spirit within me. With wisdom and right action, I now successfully bridge the gap between the idea and its reality with ease and grace.
So bridging the gap between the idea or the vision and the manifestation of it. I'm going to come in here a little closer. So this journey, this whole month we've been talking about bridging the gap between this idea that we have, or this vision or dream or our aspirations, and then the actual experience of it in the physical world. And so each month we've been talking about each week following intuition. We've been talking about staying open to possibility, and that the problem really is not the problem. It's a way in which we can, a pathway or an opportunity for realizing our dream. And today is really about persistence, but not in the way that you might think. When I first started out, I was, was going through all of the various people that we can use as an example who have persisted and made it. I actually did a little bit of a turnaround about that, though, because it can give us the false idea that if we just work harder, that that our dream will be made manifest. And I keep bumping up against that belief in my own life, that if I just work harder, it's going to happen. And take more action in the world. And the truth is what I am realizing over and over again, and it's like everything in my particular life is it's like the universe is like reflecting back to me, and on a lot of different levels, that's not the right direction. Working harder is not the right direction. It's really about something much deeper. It's about shifting beliefs, and we teach this. But it's amazing to me, and when I look at my own life, how even though I teach this all the time, there's still some hard wiring in there that thinks that if I just work harder, it's going to happen. So this is about overcoming that hard wiring and being open to a different way, a new paradigm, that if I do my inner work, then the rest is taken care of. It's a letting go of the old paradigm, which is kind of like trying to control things in the manifestation process, and really truly surrendering to, no, it's really about inner work. It's the inner work that's going to make the difference. So I've been using passages that are from the work of Paulo Coelho, who is a Brazilian who wrote a book called The Alchemist, a fable about following your dream. And in it, if you really read it deeply, yes, it's about going for a treasure, of this shepherd boy going for a treasure and selling all of his flock and everything and taking off after the treasure. But the deeper message is about the heart. It's about the heart. I was actually circling all the times in some of these passages where they bring up the idea of the heart. So I'm going to read a couple of those passages to you, and I want you to listen for that. So this shepherd boy, I mean, he's truly on a hero's journey. He runs into every kind of hardship imaginable, all kinds of setbacks and dramas, and he's at a point right now where he's about ready to give up. It's seeming impossible. The circumstances, there are warring tribes that are going on at this point in time, and he's about ready to give up. And he's been also looking for the alchemist, who he thinks will help him. Some outside person. Does this sound familiar? Who's going to help him and save him, and help him get to his treasure? So the alchemist does show up just at the right, perfect time. And so the shepherd boy says to the alchemist, "My heart is afraid it will have to suffer." And the alchemist says, "Tell your heart, no heart has ever suffered when it goes in search of its dreams, because every second of the search is an encounter with God and eternity." Every second, an encounter with God and eternity. So that night, the boy's heart began to tell him things that came from the soul of the world. And notice it's the heart is now speaking to him and speaking about the soul of the world. The soul of the world is a term that from our teaching we call race consciousness, meaning the human race consciousness, the collective consciousness. Sometimes people use the term the Akashic records, but what it means is this like reservoir of every human thought, belief, action that from the beginning of time. And so it is, and we can feel it. We can see it in our world right now, that there's a level of consciousness that is wanting to be healed. This idea of there's something outside of me that's going to save me, or that the world is against me. It's time for us to get beyond that paradigm. So it's like all of this stuff is coming up to be healed right now in the world. And I believe in each and every one of us. It's like, do we really, I know for myself personally, do I really believe this? Or do I not? It's really time to come face to face with it. So he goes on again to say, the boy's heart began to tell him things that came from the soul of the world, this race conscious, collective consciousness. It said, everyone on earth has a treasure that awaits him. We, people's hearts, seldom say much about those treasures because very few follow the path of their personal legends. So the other thing to remember is the soul of the world also contains possibilities and dreams, people's dreams and aspirations. So it goes on to say, because few people will follow their personal legends, meaning their heart's callings. So we, their hearts, speak softly, and we begin to hope that our words won't be heard. We don't want people to suffer because they don't follow their hearts. So the boy promised his heart that he would always listen to it and follow it. And so that's where we left off last week. And so let's continue to see what comes next. So what should I do now? The boy asked the alchemist. So he's asking the alchemist instead of doing what? Going within and getting the answer. And so the alchemist says, continue in the direction of the pyramid, which is the symbol of the dream, and pay heed to the omens, the guidance along the way. Your heart is still capable of showing you where the treasure is. So again, he points him back to his heart, back to where the true guidance is for him personally. And then the shepherd boy said, well, is that all that I need to know? And he said, no, there's one more thing that you need to know. Before the dream is realized, the soul of the world, remember all of these beliefs in separation in one way, form or the other, tests everything that was learned along the way to assure that you master the lessons learned as you move toward that dream. That's the point at which most people give up. Every search ends with the victor being severely tested. Every search ends with the victor being severely tested. So, with this knowledge, the boy continues on his journey and is severely tested, meets the tests, finds the treasure, and finds himself. So, here's the question that I have for you, and it's a question I ask myself. How much do I want what I say that I want? How much do I really want it? Am I willing to face the tests that are being put before me? And so I want to redefine that a little bit, because remember, the tests in our teaching and the way we understand it and what the spiritual masters are showing us is not about something out there. It's about the belief structure that we have in here. It's about our beliefs in separation, and they come in all different kinds of forms. I'm not enough. There's not enough. I don't have enough. They're all different variations. I'm not worthy. You think of when you think of all of those limiting beliefs, they all go back to an idea that I'm somehow separate from the one life, separate from the infinite good. So then the journey in search of our dreams then, in truth, is a journey of the heart. We think it's all about the stuff that we get, whether it's career or relationship or whatever it might be, but in truth, it's about the uncovering of the heart, freeing it from false beliefs. And, there are many terms for this. You can call it the false self-image, not realizing who we are in truth. And the heart we're beginning to understand, not just from the masters, the great masters, but from modern science, is that the heart is truly the most powerful center in our body. The movie that we saw the other night, The Sacred Journey of the Heart, pointed out some of these, and then I went and I looked them up on the internet just to verify everything, and I found a couple more things that were really interesting. But here are some facts about the heart and why we emphasize the heart so much when it comes to love and light and our spiritual essence. So, the electrical impulse of the heart is 40 to 60 times stronger than the brain. We give so much credence to the brain, but the heart, the impulse coming from the heart, is 40 to 60 times stronger than the brain. And then this is even more amazing. The electromagnetic field, and I think Dan has a photo of this. The electromagnetic field, the field, Dan, not that one. There's one that's a field that shows a person standing with the field of the heart around them. You don't have it there? Sorry. Okay. Anyway, the electromagnetic field that the heart puts out is 5,000 times more powerful than the brain. And I don't know if you've seen a picture of the field, but it kind of goes up like this and around and then comes up from the bottom. And it's huge, what the heart puts out. And the heart sends way more information to the brain than vice versa. So we are informed by our heart. The heart's magnetic field is also connected to the planetary magnetic field. So there are studies that have been going on about measuring the electromagnetic field of the planet. And there was a period of time when there was this huge spike in the electromagnetic field. And when they went back and looked at the data, it was 15 minutes after 9/11. Now, what we know is that all emotion, strong emotion, comes out of the heart, both love and fear. And so 15 minutes, the response when the world began to find out about 9/11, that outpouring of emotion in all of its forms. Thank you. That outpouring of emotion made the entire magnetic field of the earth spike, which shows you how amazingly interconnected we are and amazingly powerful the heart is and the emotions that we feel. So there is a global coherence initiative that was formed. That's the name of the organization. And they have embedded sensors deep into the earth that are logging changes in the electromagnetic field. Particularly, they're focused on what happens when people, as a group, drop into the heart. You know, these big gatherings of people on the internet or however that when they drop into the heart, feel the love, feel peace, and extend it all over the planet. They're watching the changes in the electromagnetic field. And so what they're finding then is that there is solid proof that we are one. Of course, we know that, but I mean, when science begins to affirm this, it's really powerful because it just reminds us of the importance of caring for the heart, caring for the heart. So the key then to living in the most powerful state, beneficial state that we possibly can, is what has been termed heart coherence. And so aligning with the power of the heart is aligning with the energy of love, which we know is the healing power of all that is. And light, love and light, actually being one and the same. There's a lot of scientific evidence that everything is truly light, either in wave or in form. So the truth is, scientists are proving we are light. Everything is light. And we can amplify that light through heart coherence. So how do we do heart coherence? You know, that may be your next question. And one of the most powerful ways to get the heart in a state of coherence is through a method called forgiveness, especially radical forgiveness. The work of Colin Tipping has given us a lot of insight into how that works. So it used to be in the earlier stages of our teaching that everybody just tried to focus on the positive all the time. And what happened, though, is that we were not dealing with the traumas and the emotions that go along with the false beliefs and with our experiences of the past. So they're now learning that we must cleanse ourselves of this emotion in order to free ourselves of the limiting beliefs so that it makes room for the truth of who we are to shine forth. So radical forgiveness is a powerful tool in doing that, in telling the story, releasing the beliefs, the emotion and the beliefs, reframing the story in an empowering way so we can move forward in our life from a new paradigm, from realizing that everything that's happened to us up until now has been supporting our evolution. So radical forgiveness. Another tool for heart coherence is meditation. And in particular, the heart math has come up with a meditation that you can do in like 2 minutes and bring yourself back into coherence at any point in time. And that is simply this, to breathe in and out of the heart, drop into the heart, breathe in and out of the heart for 2 minutes, And we're going to do that in just a minute. And to cultivate appreciation. Because, and this is where you can show it. Oh, there you go. There's the electromagnetic field. Thank you, Dan. And now I'd like you to show the other one, the graph. So this shows you the difference between the heart rhythm in an individual who feels frustration and who feels appreciation. This is what we're talking about, heart coherence. So what does that tell you about appreciation and gratitude?
Good to have.
Yes. It's important to cultivate appreciation and gratitude because that's how it shows up in your heart. It shows up as a coherent state. It means that you are in your most powerful co-creative state and your most beneficial state for yourself and for the planet. Your body, your mind, your being, your life, everything works better from that state. So let's take a moment right now and experience that. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and drop into your heart. And begin to breathe in and out of the heart. Imagine that your heart has either a mouth or a nose on it, and that the air or the energy is going in and out. And the thing is to breathe out for 5 seconds and breathe in for 5 seconds. Really balanced, slow, deep breathing. So I'll allow you to do that right now and just let the breath take you deeper into that state of coherence. And so let's begin to think about all the things that we appreciate in life. As we breathe, continue the breathing and think about what you appreciate. And now evoke a feeling of care and compassion for the planet. And radiate that care and compassion like a huge wave of light all over the planet. Or if you want to, you can designate it for a certain area of the planet that you think needs a little extra love. Maybe Cincinnati right now. But let's direct care and compassion like a beautiful field of love and light. See it flowing out of your heart and outward. And then see it come back to you as a huge tsunami wave of love and light. And it just keeps flowing back and forth, this huge, ever stronger, ever building field of compassion and love and care. And take one more deep breath. And so it is. You can open your eyes when you're ready. So we're all in a very powerful state of coherence right now. Can anybody feel the shift in the room? I certainly feel it. I'm getting God bumps. So again, these great journeys and quests that we go on in our lives, these dreams and aspirations, ultimately are all about a journey of the heart, a journey of uncovering the divinity, the love and the light that resides in the center and core of our being. And it's a reminder that we are not separate. We're not lacking anything. We are of the one source. We are completely unified with that one. As Thomas Troward says so beautifully, I'm going to paraphrase what he says, is that the entirety of all that God is, that one life, that one presence, that one power, is centered everywhere. And its circumference is nowhere. So everywhere, and that means right where we are, is the fullness of all that is. Undivided, indivisible. That's why we are whole, perfect, and complete. And so I'd like to end with, and so I'm going to ask everybody to stand, and we're going to actually get the energy moving and going. And just repeat after me. I put that beautiful quote that Peggy just read into first person so that we can claim it for ourselves. And so repeat after me. I place my entire trust, my complete faith, in the truth that I am rooted in the living spirit, as love, peace, and power. That I have access to the mind of God. Right here in the center of my being. I now walk in confidence. And speak my spiritual convictions with complete assurance. Knowing that there is a power and a presence within me. For me. And operating through me. That knows no defeat. Woohoo! And so it is.